This is referred to as a drive well point. This is a forged head which will go into the hole and will drive down to the sand. Here you have a filter screen. This consists of a stainless steel outer shell, a stainless steel very fine mesh on the inside with a 1 1/4 inch piece of pipe on the inside. The back side of this has thread cut. You would apply a pipe dope to this. Liquid Teflon is what I tend to use. It's kind of a paste. You'll apply a coupling, another piece of pipe. You'll drive this down until you reach a water bearing level. The maximum lift on this is about 25 feet. This, of course, is a pitcher pump to the back. We'll be covering that in a moment. The directions on using this, according to the piece of paper, is to dig a hole by hand 3 to 4 feet deep. And that's important because you're going to be putting a 5-foot section on this, and you have to be able to hammer that into the ground. You set this into the ground, and then you start driving the piece in. When you're driving this piece in, you would have a hammer point on top of this, which we'll be covering a little bit later, which would drive in so that you don't damage the threads by nailing or hammering directly against the threads. You push this down until it's a little bit above ground. Then the next thing that you would do is you would put a new coupling, a new piece of pipe on, and continue to drive down until you reach the depth. If you watch a number of videos on YouTube, you'll sometimes see these pitcher pumps, which we'll get to in just a moment. You'll see these pitcher pumps sitting pretty high off the ground. One of the problems with that is when you're working the handle, this piece right here, you're putting a great deal of stress on that pipe as it comes up. So you want to make sure that you have a durable piece of pipe. The alternative to this is to cut the thing off down low, thread it, and then put it back together. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be losing threads or pieces of metal down in here because you don't want to be drinking those. Given the fact that this metal is magnetic, it'd be very difficult to get a magnet down in there to pick up the metal filings. A lot of people that put these pumps in use them as a temporary water source. I don't know of anybody that uses a pitcher pump as a primary water source, given the technologies that we have today as far as like solar or any other type of mechanical rod pump, jet pump, and so forth. But this is a drive well point, again, to be put into the ground. You put it in like so, put your cap on top of it for driving, and then start pounding it into the ground. The one thing that is very important is to make sure that when you thread your coupling on here, that you sink all the threads out of sight, and that you have a good layer of pipe dope in here so that it doesn't get an air gap. You also don't want the water to be leaking into the different stratas between where your water bearing layer is and the top, because you don't want to be sending any contaminants from above down into the well. Now, when a proper well is drilled, which we'll be covering in even more detail, you would have a gravel pack in here, and then above that it would be grouted in either with bentonite clay or with Portland concrete. And normally most states adhere to a similar degree of agreement on how to seal a well. In many states it's 50 feet of Portland or 50 feet of bentonite clay, both of which are very solid and will prevent the migration of water from a higher level to a lower level. But to recap, this is set into a vertical position into about a 3 to 4 foot hole, hand dug. You put your coupling on here, you put your 5-foot section on, and then drive it into the ground until you strike a water bearing level. I'm going to show you how this fits together very quickly. your well piece would be driven into the water level. This would be a section of threaded pipe. This is 1 1/4 inch, and it would thread in here into this piece. And again, you want to use some pipe dope or something. As you can see, it's picking this up, so it's threading in. But you need that pipe dope so that it doesn't suck air. And that's how this piece works. These are available from various vendors. You can buy them online. They're not terribly expensive. This one was about $45, I believe. The pump, real quickly, this is a piston pump that uses a leather. It's got an upper leather and a lower leather. And as you pump the handle, it produces a suction. The leather on the bottom right here sinks or rises or falls. If it has water, the water level comes back against this and holds it. When the pump is working, it's producing a differential of pressure which pulls the water up in the top, and we will be taking this apart so that you can see the inside of it. The top piece has a flapper valve similar to the bottom so that it lifts the water up and it pours out of this. One of the drawbacks on this when exposed to the weather, anything that goes into this spot right here, will eventually find its way down into your water level. So when this is installed, since this is a backup emergency water supply, if the water should be shut off for any length of time, just so that there's water on the property out here, I'll be putting a plastic bucket over this, and I'll be putting some mothballs in a fabric around the outside of this to keep spiders, wasps, rodents, stuff like that out of this bucket, and it'll help keep this clean so that if I need water, I have it. As far as maintenance is concerned, your pump needs to be exercised every so often so that you help keep any type of a barrier from walling off the water. How much water do you need to pump? That will be covered under developing a water well.